finally touched down in the middle of one very dark and spooky forest where I have no idea what awaits me. And I am very, very reluctant to step out. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is GM Spencer Mansion, a recreation of the infamous mansion from the first Resident Evil game. And I am excited / scared by this because although I've been seeing screenshots all my life, I have never actually played Resident Evil 1. But of course, I know the gist from cultural osmosis. So let's make our way through the forest, what would have been the opening FMV sequence of the game. Wow, things have fallen really quite silent now that we're away from the helicopter. Even the dogs have gone quiet, and of course, anyone who has played the Resident Evil games knows that dogs mean danger. And the fact that they're no longer howling means they may be prowling. This certainly does remind me of old games, though, these narrow paths through the forest that don't actually make a lot of sense when you stop and think about them. But I don't believe any of this was playable in the actual thing. I'm going to have to go back and play it at some point. I have the re-release on PC, but I've just never been able to get used to the controls. Well, there's something. We've also got multiple paths. Alright, going back there just led to another field with another helicopter, so I guess a second team inserted at the same time. But in the game, they touched down and were immediately set upon by zombie dogs in the dark night, running until they came across this mansion. Beware of dog, that's cute. Well, the workshop page claims that about... The workshop page claims that about 65% of the environment has been recreated. Close. Close, please. Okay, I guess nothing's coming then. And after an obscenely long wait time for the music to stop, we can have a look at our surroundings. Wow. Wow, look at the scale of this, how high those ceilings are. That ornate detail of the wood on the walls. The artwork hanging over like a banner. It's... imagine what it must have been like playing this for the first time. How open and dark and mysterious it all must have felt. This was pretty much the birth of modern survival horror. And these environments, coupled with the beautiful graphics for the time, and really kind of truly leaving you to your own devices, it must have felt like something never seen before. But I guess we'll just have to pick a direction and start walking, as much as I don't like the fact that I can't close those doors behind me. I see that sense of scale is continuing into the dining hall. This place, when you run in here from the intro cutscene, it's a refuge, but it kind of feels like you've gone out of the fire and into the frying pan, so to speak. At least here you have a chance. Okay, we may... probably won't need the flashlight for this. But not every door is going to open. And some doors don't need to be opened. A little bar complete with piano. God, imagine just having this inside a random room of your house. What kind of obscene wealth are we talking about here? But of course, anyone who's played Resident Evil, even if you haven't played the first one, knows that there's probably more to this than meets the eye. After all, our tactical team was here for a reason, right? Or, in this case, Tactical Safety Glock, dispatched to save the day. Well, I'm seeing water down there. Does that mean that the basement is flooded? Okay, let's try and take this one floor at a time if we can, and move back down this way. Yep, there we are. There's our confirmation that this place is not just incidentally here, but is in fact the focal point of whatever is going on in these woods. Oh, and there's something here. Some kind of, like, coin or pendant? Oh, wait. We've picked it up. Are there actually going to be puzzle-solving elements to this? If so, that is a huge level of appreciation for the source material. I mean, the cool thing about survival horror, and Resident Evil in particular, is that this house wasn't just a location for the game to take place in. It was essentially a puzzle box for you to unwind as you went. I may not have played the game, but I know enough to be off-put by this. Okay, the sight of a hallway and windows off to the sides. Yeah, that's got me nervous. Now what is this supposed to be, a shoe shine station or something? Looks more like torture to me. We could head upstairs. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go with the flow. Ooh. Burning basins and suits of armor. If this were a different genre, I'd expect you guys to start swinging at me. In this umbrella are engineering biometallic organisms. But I guess there's not much for us to do up here for now. Unless we go even higher. Let me guess, this would be a trap, right? Sure looks like one. Yep. I mean, you guys look poised to crush, which is probably worse than impalement. Then again, neither seems particularly appealing. Okay, that's a static sound. We heard that before. This window is boarded. From the outside, too. All of them are. Why are they trying to seal off the second, or I guess third floor? Ooh. Look at that stained glass ceiling. Interesting centerpiece you've got for your library here. Could it perhaps be a part of some sort of puzzle? These games are just full of hidden passageways and over-engineered door locks. I can't imagine you're here for no reason, right? Well, there's something important over there. Another one of those pendants. This one with a sun on it. And look, we've even got props for the ink ribbons and the first aid kits. That is so cool. I can't speak for the accuracy of the map itself, having never played the game, but I'm led to believe that it's probably pretty close, just because of the love for the source material that I can feel over every inch of this. The detail in the environment, having that experience of getting off the helicopter and having to run through the forest and get in here, having the doors open up for us mysteriously, the fact that we actually have to solve puzzles to get through here, it's got that survival horror mindset. It's so dedicated to the experience that you just know. Just look at this. Little props from the game. I always forget that saving used to be an unrenewable resource back in the day. And what does survival horror teach us except that if you can't figure out something in the moment, come back to it later. I've always loved in these games how sometimes you're completely stumped by something, and then you just wander around and explore, and eventually you find that one thing that makes it all click, and usually things start accelerating pretty rapidly from then on. It all seems so big and unfamiliar when you first arrive, and it never loses that sense of mystery because you're constantly discovering new things. But because of the way it's arranged, you're also backtracking a lot and seeing old things in a new light. And so over time, you kind of become familiar with the environments, and that's something that I really think Resident Evil pioneered. Having everything take place in a consistent space that allows you... I think it's something like that that allows a game to stick in your mind a lot more. Speaking of things sticking in your mind... Oh, boy. No trigger, no trigger. No trigger, please. Okay. After it was willing to play the music when we entered, I honestly don't know what this map is going to do. No opening here. But we've got to try everything. Once again, bumping into something scares the daylights out of me. Why do I get the impression that in this room would be some kind of death trap? But it gets us to a study. Now the question is, what now? There's our death trap! Never mind. Oh my god, look at that thing. Huh, I wonder if that's actually a model imported from the game. God, if that's what's running around out there, then I'm glad I made my way in here, even for all the spookiness. Ooh, there's another one. So that's 3, but we've still yet to figure out where we use them. Looks like there's a balcony immediately outside. Can we actually access it? That's going to be the next question. Let's do our little hop to get our footsteps back. Wow, this place is actually massive. There wasn't a tremendous amount of detail on the outside, but inside is another story. Look, even got 3D wainscoting. This was a labor of love, you can tell. Thank you, blind corner pillar. Your presence is woefully necessary. My god. The shadow of that vase coming around the corner with my movement, yeah, I'm definitely in a horror game mindset right now. God, it's like the Haunted Mansion. Another locked gate. Have I been down this way? No but there's nothing here except copious amounts of alcohol on bookshelves. So now the question is, where do we go from here? Well, there's openings there and here. But of course we can't descend into the wine cellar / crypt just yet. Something tells me that elevator isn't going to be working either. Hello? There's an invisible wall here at the stairs. Well, I can't imagine this is supposed to be this way, so let's just no-clip through, I guess. Yeah, no, the whole stairs are... Why is there an invisible wall here? That doesn't make any sense to me. Unless there's supposed to be something more here. I imagine this probably wouldn't open up until later. I don't know, this could just be an issue with VR. Oh, hello. That window appears to have been ripped open. Oh, wow. Ooh. Well, let's just continue on with our tack light then and take that as a blessing. Unless, of course, we can jump our way up and out. Doesn't seem like something we'd want to do. This statue is hefting a potential puzzle solution. Come on. Yep. Come on. You really don't want to give that to me? In fact, my arm won't even allow me to reach up all the way unless I jump. Alright then, be that way. I've got exploring to do. I don't know if some object just isn't loading in or what. Oh my... Stop having you guys everywhere. Hang on. Oh, we're on the other side of this. I wonder if we can... Yeah, no, it definitely feels like I'm not supposed to be here yet, but I don't know what else I could do. And I am on a schedule here. Still yet to figure out where those electrical sounds are coming from. Here's the elevator. So maybe we can go up and down quickly with it now? No. Yeah, everything's locked. Everything's closed. But I can't find any place to place those pendants, which are kind of the only lead I have at the moment. Alright then, through here it is. And wow, just walking through here and wondering about everything that's wrong with this place. The fact that it's a house that doesn't feel like a house the more you look around. And then, of course, there's the obvious of everything that's going on in the surrounding area. Oh, we're walking out onto the outside balcony. That's where we came from. Well, I'll enjoy the fresh air while I can. Something I find really cool about the architecture of this place is the back and forth between, like, the wood paneling and carpet and the old stone and cobbled paths. It's an interesting mixture that makes it feel very old and ornate, but in different ways. I had a look on the workshop page, and it seems like a lot of people are having issues with doors that can't be opened and random invisible walls. The uploader of this map is not the creator. They just kind of found it and brought it up to speed to work in Garry's Mod, and so they don't really have like full knowledge or control of how to fix some of these things, and it is quite old to begin with. So going forward, I'm just going to treat this as a regular exploration and use no-clip where needed. I'm still very, very impressed with all of this. But I guess our only lead right now is to venture through what I assume would at one time have been a secret door. This map is definitely doing its job, though, of getting me to want to play the game just to see what all this was about. Oh, look, it's a courtyard. / graveyard. You know, I know it's an old school thing, but I've always thought you've got to be a little bit insane to be burying family members on your own property, huh? Okay, is there anything down there that we should be investigating? Looks okay. Flowing water? What is this booth here? Oh, it's like a garden. And actually quite a complex one at that. That explains the source of the water. Unfortunately, we're no closer to getting out of here. We're just finding out the scale of this. It's got its own infrastructure and everything. And an elevator. Something tells me that that's not an original feature. God, this map is just gorgeous to look at. There's an opening over there, but before I move on, is there anything to see down in the graveyard area? I mean, this being a zombie game, I imagine this would have had some significance before, right? And even though it's a Garry's Mod version, I can't help but be nervous walking past all this. Well, this seems like quite a random staircase. In fact, too random. The kind of random that wants to make me start pushing on random stones to see if they'll reveal a secret passage. In a Resident Evil game, you cannot take a dead end at face value. You simply cannot. But I guess for now we're going to have to. Let's not use no-clip until all other options have been exhausted. Okay, stairwell there. Ooh. They've got their own private art gallery. Question is, where does it lead? Also, I'm noticing the fire extinguishers on the ground. And I wonder if it's for any particular reason. All of this being in one hallway leading up to a door to the basement makes me think that this is like prep for what you're about to see down there. Okay, in we go. But that's right, it's all flooded. Well, I guess this isn't the part the elevator leads to. But we may be getting close. Yeah, this right here, this is behind the main stairway. God, the connectivity in this, I don't know if we're meant to have opened this and come from the other way, but just the fact that all of this connects the way it does, it's like I was saying earlier, having it all take place in one space so that you can go down a tangent for a long time and then realize that you were just parallel to someplace familiar. All right, hearing those sparks, I definitely don't want to touch the water. I think I was correct in that call. The kitchen. Well, after all this running around, I guess I could go for a Jill sandwich. And another elevator leading to more flooding. In fact, this is probably right beneath the one we saw from above. And just as non-functional. and this doesn't open, which means that this is yet another dead end. Next step then is going to be over here. I mean, staircases are good, by definition transitional. But it's so weird how the upper floors are so separated like this. And every hallway with adjacent windows makes me nervous for something crashing in behind me. It's practically like I can feel the third-person camera at my back seeing things I can't. But once more unopenable doors. There's another pendant, which looks just like one we picked up earlier. I don't think these actually go to anything, or if they did, it's long broken, because I would not have been able to reach here on my own. Oh, there's another closed gate. Is it one that we've seen from the other side before? It might be. Hello, I didn't see you before. Whoa. Okay, I was going to start no-clipping through doors, but maybe that's jumping the gun. Down here. I just heard something slide shut. There is something much more going on down here. Okay, you're not going to open up for me? Excuse me, I loaded you before. Yeah, well, that's not working. What do I do about that? Why is this one open and the other isn't? Okay, what if we no-clip through this door here? Have I seen this? I think I've been here before. Yep, this is right around this corner. Well, if we are resorting to no-clip, let's start taking these doors one by one then. Yep. These snarling trophies adorn just about every wall, although I guess it gives a good impression of what the owners must have been like. It's like a classroom or something. But why? Well, there's plants clipping through the floor. Does that mean that there's something I'm supposed to be seeing? Hang on. Oh. Oh! This opens up. I really wish I could figure out how this is supposed to work. This feels so cheaty, but nothing else is getting me anywhere. What is going on with the texture there? Oh wait, the wainscoting actually isn't, it's not 3D here. Hang on. Okay, let's try no-clipping through that. Guys, I am cutting so much of this because I'm spending so much time running around just trying to figure this out. That is an honest-to-goodness throne. This place can't decide if it wants to be Victorian or medieval. All I know is that I want it. Although not as much as I want Luigi's Mansion, if we're being fair. Invisible wall? Oh no, that's an untextured side of the door. Okay, so it probably can't be open then. Down this other hallway, there was a locked door, which I'm curious about. Hello, heavy machine gun. Oh. Wait, there's certain props not showing up. Okay, even though I have collision here... Ugh. Whoa! Even though I have collision here, our fleshlight isn't doing anything. So I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix that. Now, what about this room here? Huh. Well, I'm not seeing any way to actually interact with it, but clearly this was meant to be some kind of puzzle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. A sequence. Oh, I see. Well, that's led to that gate being open, but that makes it seem like we would have had to have come in through here. This probably also would open and close, but it didn't seem to be affected by anything I did over there, unless I just didn't see it. But we can actually crawl into this hole in the wall, which contains another grave. Another invisible wall here, too. You access this from the foundation. Or, well, not quite the foundation. I'm not sure how many floors up this is. Like I said, this is just making me want to play the game and experience the puzzles the way they were supposed to be. I mean, I really loved the Resident Evil 2 remake. It gave me a real appreciation for this genre. And even if things aren't working here right now, yep, this will be the classroom. I was going to check up here because this back area is something I've been really curious about since I spotted it. But on the way up here, I realized there is something I forgot. And that's this elevator down in the back. Now, I don't know what kind of garden needs an elevator, but I am very curious about where it leads. Apparently nowhere, so let's proceed with the no clip, I guess. God, it's so... Just open the doors, please. Like, even if you don't do anything else, just remove the puzzle aspects that aren't working and just open the doors so I can explore this like normal. It really interferes with the pace to do things out of order like this. God, it's got its own sewer system, reservoir, and everything. And I can hear something tapping off to my left. Well, guess we're going in. Or not. Well, I guess that makes sense. The game probably didn't have any swimming as a mechanic. But we've still got things to see. Ah, I bet here we probably would have had to find like a crank or a lever or something to open this gate, get the water level to lower, right? And then I bet we would climb down here, walk across that gap, and get to that. I don't see anything that we can do that with, though, so, yep. Oh, you know what? I think what I'm hearing is actually the chopper. All the fuel they're burning, just kind of waiting for me to figure all this out, but this all just ends at another elevator. Which also does not work. Oh, hang on. If we look down there, we see that this place continues even further. These gardens are huge. What happens if I just leap over the edge? Yep. Ow. Yep. Okay, invisible wall. Now we're down here. I guess this is where... Yeah, this is where that other elevator would have brought us. I had no idea this place was so huge. Seems they both lead to the same place. Anything beyond here? Nothing but darkness and tall ceilings. What about through this gate? Is that going to get us anywhere? Yep. Thank you. I don't know why it fills me with such tension being able to hear the helicopter out there. It feels like I'm trapped in here and I'm missing my extraction or something. Look at you, demonic-looking gargoyle statue. Let me guess, you rotate, right? Or at least you would have, probably from this panel here, featuring another of the pendants that we've been finding all over. But, as expected, it doesn't seem like you actually do anything right here. We may be finding the solutions to many puzzles while we're out here. We can climb down into the fountain. But aside from some glitchy water, it doesn't seem like there's anything to do. All roads really do seem to lead back to this room, don't they? And the only thing I can think to try from this point out is to move up and through that hatch we couldn't open before. So let's climb on up. And... hello? Is this connected to the gardens outside? There's a window right here, almost like this is under observation. Although I'm not quite sure why an observation window would need a statue like this. Okay, the plot is rapidly thickening here. It looks like we're still in the mansion. It really looks like we're still in the mansion. And of course, none of these doors are going to want to open for us. Let's keep exploring what we can first. This actually looks like an old and neglected part of the mansion now that I think about it. This goes right back out onto the hallway we started with. And this goes onto a hallway that I'm pretty sure we've seen before. Or have we? We actually may not have. What is all this? Wait. Empty. Not empty, but we've been here. In here, maybe? No, although this would sort of lead back to here. Funnily enough, this wall opens to the observation window. God, nothing in this house is what it seems. It's like there's a whole, like, parallel infrastructure alongside what seems to be a mansion. Well, since we know that there's more than meets the eye, and this having all kinds of elevators and infrastructure around it, I've got to imagine that there is more to this as well, right? So let's see what this was at one time meant to be. I knew it. I knew it. Anything spiral in a game is going to open up to reveal a staircase. It's just a trope. Hello? Not nowhere at all. That door opened. Contaminated area? Well, this being Resident Evil, I bet. God, that was a very deep staircase. We are far underground right now. And I guess we would have needed, like, all those pendants, all those keys throughout the mansion in order to even have the opportunity to solve that puzzle. But all the way down here, after all this time, we see our very first reference to the Umbrella Corporation. This feels Glock necessary. Goes even deeper still. Oh look, they're putting up a sign showing us that we might trip. It's a good thing this company is so safety-oriented. Thank you, ironic blood puddle. Security. Look at this. After all those darkened old hallways and concrete tombs, this is also sterile and modern. God, look at this. I don't like the sound of that. I also don't like that I can still hear the helicopter, but look, I can imagine that when this game came out, all of this and coming upon it was probably something of a twist. The brokenness of this map knows no bounds. I've been randomly teleported to somewhere else, but as I was saying, I was kind of expecting this because look, it's Resident Evil. Umbrella builds stuff under stuff. That's what they do. But that's an expectation I have now in the modern day. When this came out, I can imagine that twist being huge. After spending so much time up in the mansion and trying to figure out if this is like some kind of paranormal curse or what, then coming upon all of this just below, something that, well, like I said earlier, was just parallel to all your experiences all this time. Well, at least the doors down here actually work. And I imagine these tubes would contain some bioweapon specimens, right? Map by Eris004. I wonder if that's just an asset or if it would give us some information. Oh my god, I hadn't even seen you. Is that who I think it is? Although I believe this map has nav meshes, after playing it as an exploration map for an hour, it's something else to actually come down here, be in the middle of this discovery, and then come face to face with this thing. Essentially the face of this whole place when you think about it. But there's gotta be more to see. I cannot wait to do a no-clip run of this. What about the elevator over there? Is that gonna be working? I don't know why I expected any different. Where does this lead? I have unfortunately had to restart the map due to the teleports being extremely broken. I could not go anywhere. But we've still got some stuff to explore up here. And down here. Seems everything is not well in the facility itself either. Oh, look at all this. Doors knocked off their hinges, blood everywhere. But an astounding lack of bodies except for the one upstairs. Oh, that one actually can be messed with. Although what it did, I'm not quite sure. I wonder if this is where those sewers would have come out. Actually, it looks like this is more ventilation. Gotta be an opening on the surface somewhere. I mean, this place may be a modern laboratory, but this feels more like a Minotaur's labyrinth. A dungeon for some huge creature to chase us in. Can we open that door at the end? Radiation warning. It can't be worse than anything else we've encountered. I imagine this is where the zombie dogs were created, right? God, this map with NPCs would be something else. Alright, I think we've probably seen just about all there is. Unless there is something beyond this door. There in fact is. Look at all this equipment. And all this is for much more human experimentation, I would wager. We can crawl around in the vents. And in fact, I believe this elevator right here is the one that would go down to that area where we found... Is it Tyrant, Mr. X? I don't know if those names are interchangeable or not. But there's nothing out here. Oh no, this vent would actually allow you to crawl right down into it. Well, I guess now is as good a time as any for a no-clip run. And honestly, this cross-section of the place is really, really cool. I've always had a fascination with, like, underground bases in unassuming places, and while this area is anything but unassuming, it's so much more than what it seems at a glance. I say this every time I play a game like this, but I am a tremendous fan of the puzzle box philosophy of world design. The kind of thing that is technically completely open to you from the start, but you've got to figure out how to unlock those doors. You've got to backtrack. You've got to spend time in areas and become familiar with things that you won't really be able to interact with until later, sometimes much later. It gives a real sense of intimacy with the environment. And in doing so, I think it's huge in terms of like creating memories of a game that will last, because it forces you to think about the elements that are here rather than forcing you through an endless corridor that just constantly keeps throwing new things at you. And you actually do have the opportunity to tell your story in that way by having the environment you're in change over time, by having places that were safe become dangerous or inaccessible, by giving you the option to make a place permanently safe at the cost of limited weapons and ammo. I mean, that's a huge component of survival horror, isn't it? You could run around or avoid enemies. You could make the decision that I'm going to go through this place a lot and I would rather use the ammo to make it permanently safe. But you know that because you're going to be in the same environments the entire time, you've got to make use of what it gives you. And when you're out, you're out. You got to make wise decisions with it. And all the while, just like the original game, this is beautiful to look at. Even in spite of the problems, it's clearly such a love letter to its inspirations that it manages to preserve enough to get me excited to play a nearly 30-year-old game, which feels weird to say, that I have no nostalgia for. It's got all the detail and the mystery and the creepiness, and it's just a really cool and fun map to explore. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.